boom, baby, when I watch that throwback piece to the creation of this magnificent facility. Thank you, Carl Fisher. Thank you, the city of Indianapolis, for building what has been the greatest magnet in my life. When I first showed up here, this place just simply devoured my soul and sparked an interest and a fascination and a desire to be one of these 33 drivers. It is a privilege every year to be here to call this the greatest spectacle in racing.
And I don't care if it's your first time at the Speedway or your 81st time. Every time you go through that tunnel, you see the track as you emerge. It gives you a feeling, Townsend. It's unlike any other racetrack, unlike any other stadium on Earth. I love coming here every single year.
And there's no to be than trackside where we find our Jamie Little.
Well, Pato O'Ward is one of the most loved and biggest personalities in this field, but this place has been a heartbreaker for him. Just last year, he was passed on the last corner of the last lap for the win. It left him in tears for the second time in the last 3 years. But today, he starts on the front row, and it's perhaps his best shot at winning the Indy 500. Kevin Lee.
Kyle Larson is a throwback. He came up through the short track ranks. That used to be the path here, and he's also quite popular because he's got to head to Charlotte very soon, but we've had some raindrops. He has about a 40-minute window if the race is delayed. Beyond that, he's going to have to go forward. To Georgia Henneberry.
Two teammates, two 500 champions, and two incredibly motivated drivers start from the 32nd and 33rd today. Watch as their journey to the front of the field.
All-American marching band to perform back home again in Indiana.
winning their 20th pit stop competition.
You noticed Colton Herta on row 9, big crash in qualifying, but got back in the car, got back out on track. A rookie there in Louis Foster. Stingray Robb led laps last year. There is intrigue and interest on every single row of this grid. Santino Ferrucci, one of the most successful drivers in the history of this race, finishing in the top 10 in his first 6 years.
Yeah, a couple of names on row 3, Christian Lundgaard and David Malukas, two young drivers looking to make their mark today. They are young, aggressive, but fast.
And look, you go to that front row. What's so interesting about being up front at this race, guys, is we've been here for days, for weeks. They've done thousands of laps combined around this place, but never with the grandstands totally full. And from inside the race car, from behind the visor, the track looks so different. All your visual cues are different. Your turning points can be affected, and especially if you're on that front row with that unobscured view into turn 1, you notice how much more narrow the track looks because of all the people.
Guys, I want you to take me back to your first Indy 500. What is going through the head of Robert Schwartzman right now? Does he have any idea what stands ahead of him?
There is a burn in your heart, in your stomach right now as you contemplate the opportunity as a driver to make your first start in the Indy 500. You try to block out all of the distractions. Robert Schwartzman has picked up 3 or 4 new sponsors in the last 4 days. They've flown in from Monaco, from Israel, from Los Angeles to support this guy. All of a sudden, he has hoopla around him for the very first time, and you have to block all of that out. But let's not forget, in any other racing series in the world, there is no such thing as a race weekend where you go 48 hours without doing anything before the start of the race. These guys haven't driven anything for 2 days. That is a big deal.
We talk about the rookie, Robert Schwartzman, on the pole. A guy who most certainly is not a rookie is Helio Castroneves. At 50 years of age, he stands on the brink of history, James. He has already 4 Indy 500 wins to his name. Today, he could become the first to win 5.
And he's doing it with the same team he won the 4th with back in 2021. And look, it had been since 2009 before that. That was his 3rd win. So a lot of people weren't sure he was going to make the 4-timers club. So when we talk about the opportunity and the potential of Helio Castroneves to win that historic 5th, yes, absolutely. Is he capable? Is it possible? The team knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. And this guy is one to watch every time we unload here at the Speedway.
And this is the first sellout in 9 years. And we talked about Schwartzman having to focus in. Helio Castroneves, completely different. He absorbs and embraces the spiritual tsunami that is this place. So we're hearing that Pato O'Ward might have had some radio communication just a few moments ago, perhaps some coaching coming from the timing stand. Let's listen.
Let's just take a second to realize you have one of the coolest seats in the world right now. Front row at the Indy 500. Let's have some fun today. Let's focus on the 5 car and let's go forward.
Sounds good, baby. We've done this before. Let's get it.
He has done it before. It's broken his heart twice before. He's never started on the front row before. Is this Pato O'Ward's best chance to win the Indy 500?
I think so. I mean, the starting spot, obviously that helps, but you can win from almost anywhere on the grid here. Joseph Newgarden certainly is going to try that from the back row. But for me, the drivers have been talking a lot this year about how the cars are handling a little bit differently. They're a little bit more on edge, and no driver can handle a car around the Speedway on edge better than Pato O'Ward. He proved that last year in that street fight with Joseph Newgarden in those final 10 laps. I think the conditions, the situation, and the way these cars are handling plays into Pato's strengths. This is by far his best chance.
And I feel like we haven't talked anywhere near enough about Takuma Sato, who has returned for a one-off drive here in the IndyCar Series on the front row for Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. He is a 2-time winner. He is an all-or-nothing driver. What chances for Taku today?
Well, he's a 48-year-old with 2 broken ribs right now off the back of a massive crash that he had in the April Open test. Completely destroyed his race car. The Rahal Letterman Lanigan team fully rebuilt that car. It is just as fast, seemingly, as the last one. That's impressive. But for Sato, this is the only IndyCar race he'll do all year. For him to drop in on a one-off, stick it on the front row with a legitimate shot to win his 3rd is super impressive, and he just doesn't seem to be getting any older. He has all of the youthful aggression that defined the no attack, no chance mentality that got Sato here.
Another couple of storylines I want to pull out. A look at Alexander Rossi, who starts in the top 12, won here on debut. And what about local hero Connor Daly? Starts alongside him. Every one of these 33 drivers has a story. Only one will win.
up properly, the Chevy and Honda power plants, to make sure they're ripe and ready when they get cranked up.
This is a 10-minute session here. They'll be able to warm up, so you'll hear the engines rolling for about 10 minutes.
Conditions for passing can be a little bit tricky for some of the drivers, telling me it's going to be about when you make a mistake, how little ground you give up, because you're going to make mistakes with the handling conditions on the car. And if you're a guy behind somebody else, being ready to take advantage of someone having that momentary bobble that makes them a little bit on the steering wheel, it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. The later a tire run we get, as the fuel load burns off, how things happen in the pack here.
Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where we are under a rain delay. Thankfully, it isn't absolutely thundering down with rain. It is light sprinkles here at the track, but with speeds exceeding 230 miles an hour, those small sprinkles serve to make an incredibly slippery and treacherous surface, and one on which we cannot, as yet, start the Indianapolis 500. So why don't we take this opportunity to take a look around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the Honda track preview. It is, of course, a 2.5-mile oval, one of, if not the most famous racing circuit on Earth.
A perfect 4 turns at 90 degrees, 5/8 of the mile on the front straightaway, and down here in turn 1, it is rich with history. 40 years ago, Dudley Sullivan spinning while trying to pass Mario Andretti. He comes back and wins the race.
What about this back in 1992? The one thing you don't want to do is spin early in the race.
Early in the race, that was before the race even started. This is where the race basically ended last year. That incredible pass from Newgarden on the outside of Award into 3 on the last lap. Look for more moves down there today.
And turn 4, boy, this is a memory tough to watch. Back in 2011, J.R. Hildebrand leading last lap, last corner, gets into the wall, handing Dan Weldon the win.
And that run down to the yard of bricks, and your opportunity for racing infamy. The closest finish in history was back in 1992. It was less than 1/10 of a second. And the guy who came second that day, Scott Goodyear, guys, started 33rd and last, rose an improbable 31 places. If Joseph Newgarden can do that today from 32nd, that's the 3rd win in a row. It has been done before. 31 places have been made up in an Indy 500.
And let's not forget that Newgarden is the car that we circled all month long, James, in practice as the one, as the best. And then the Team Penske, I mentioned it before, delivered in the pit stop competition, dominating, frankly, record times on pit lane. That double combination, a great reason to think he can do it.
We know the car's good. We know the team's good. And guys, Joseph Newgarden does not seem to be fazed by what happened last week. He seems very confident. Last night, he crashed a house party in Speedway, Indiana. He was playing beer pong. Wasn't doing the drinking. He was doing the ping pong ball throwing. But he was cool. He was calm. He is very confident in his race car.
Sounds like I got to bed before Joseph Newgarden did last night. Now, you talk about being cool, calm, confident, getting it all together. What about this man, Mario Andretti? Practiced in a brand new Lotus back in 1969. It crashed in practice. He didn't race it, but the car he did take, he took to victory lane. Mario Andretti, 1969 Indy 500 champion. And we just so happen to have the legend with us today.
Well, there are legends scattered all through the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today, but we are lucky enough to catch up with Mario Andretti. Now, this is the 54th year that an Andretti has competed in the Indianapolis 500. What does the Indianapolis Motor Speedway mean to your family?
Well, obviously a great deal. I mean, this is a rodeo, you know. We love coming back here. As a family, I think we enjoy so much here over the years, as you can imagine, since 1965. So, and we'll keep right on going as long as we can.
Father to Marco Andretti now, Michael Andretti. Michael, what advice did you give Marco before he strapped into the car today?
He doesn't really need more advice. I think he's got more starts here than me now. So, no, he's pretty happy with the car, to be honest with you. It doesn't have much, the speed that he'd like, but the handling's good. And obviously, to win this race, you got to have a good handling car. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mario.
Great to see Mario. Great to see Michael. Of course, Marco runs in his 20th Indy 500 today. No Andretti has ever taken victory at the Indy 500 since Mario's win back in 1969. They call it the Andretti curse. Can it be overcome today? Well, one guy who was a hugely popular winner here, TK, Tony Kanaan, back in 2013. One of the coldest Indy 500s in history. Started in P11, ran home. An incredibly popular winner. Today, though, he's the team principal at McLaren.
And 9 top 5s in this race, and third as recently as 3 years ago. We know somebody like you could always jump in the car, but you might have to. Who's more anxious, Kyle Larson or you? You are the reserve driver if it rains for 45 minutes.
I think I've never thought I was going to experience two pressures. One is to maybe hop in the car, and the other one to help run 4 cars. But hopefully, looks like it's going to break out. But we want Kyle to do the 1,100 miles. But if not, I guess I'm ready to do it.
What is the timeline? What are the circumstances that would have you driving the car today?
We're going to play by ear. Obviously, he needs to leave here on a hard like 4:07 or something like that, like 4 o'clock. So we still have time. Mr. H is here. I'm available, but if he takes the green flag, obviously it's over for me or anybody. So hopefully this is what's going to happen. But the deadline for him to leave, it's up to us to decide. If it gets too late that he's not going to do that many laps and they want me to hop in the car, I'll be ready to go.
And just a reminder, there are no more relief drivers, so you would have to start the race. What if he pulls away and it starts raining again and never takes the green flag? Have you guys looked into that scenario?
Yeah, if it's just under the yellow, they can actually, well, probably park it, and then I have to jump in and start it from, you know, last. So we'll see. Hopefully, I don't want to play all the scenarios, Kevin, but it is a possibility.
One more question. We know you're good at this. We know you're one of the greatest ever, but you've had 20-some laps in the car, not at full speed. How would you approach if you got in and raced the Indy 500 today with virtually no practice?
I have 200 laps to try it, so we'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to be out there thinking I'm endangering other people and myself, but at the end of the day, I think I'm a racer. It will take me a few laps to figure out the hybrid in traffic, this and that, and we'll go. If it's good enough, we go. If not, I'll figure out park it. I'm going to have to answer to the team principal, and in this case, will be me talking to myself, so we'll see.
You know he's a racer. He'll be cautious, but if the car is good, Tony Kanaan would go for it. No matter what, we've got a fascinating story with the number 17 Arrow McLaren Hendrick car today.
Kyle Larson hoping to take the start here at the Indianapolis 500. They say the track chooses you. Right now, it's not really choosing anything. It's just giving us a bit of a hard time figuring out exactly what's going to happen. But he looks pretty chilled. Or is he looking at his watch?
He's checking his watch. He needs to. He knows he's got a hard time that he's got to get out of here to get back to Charlotte. He's desperately wanting to get this race in.
Crazy emotions right now for Kyle Larson, and even more for Tony Kanaan. Can you imagine running a race team the last several months. He got that little 20-lap shakedown. Tony Kanaan might be jumping in cold turkey. They're going to have to maybe throw a seat in this thing, get the seat belts close enough, but there's going to come a moment where Tony's going to just have to flat get after it. That will be wild. And as the crowd does the wave around here, can you imagine the response from this crowd if Tony Kanaan climbs in to go for his second win? They love him here.
They love him here. They absolutely adore TK, and with good reason. He has always been competitive around this circuit. He loves it, and they love him.
I mean, he had so many strong runs here before he got that victory back in 2013. It was one of the most celebrated, one of the most adored wins that we've seen here at the Speedway. And you know, you see that ring that that's on his finger right now. That's what you get. It's one of the many things you get when you win the 500. He wears that thing every day of his life to remind himself and everyone else he's conquered this place.
I will tell you one thing about that Tony Kanaan victory. The last time the Pacers played on Indy 500 Sunday was that day when Tony Kanaan won the Indianapolis 500. They play today. Is that prescience?
It just seems like part of the magic of this place, and I think the look that I see there on Tony Kanaan is him starting to actually dialogue with specificity about, okay, we might actually have to do this, but we'll find out soon as the weather hopefully improves here shortly.
Beat the Knicks, kiss the bricks, the 2 checklist points in Indianapolis this week. Well, the crowd are excited. We're getting ready for the cars to roll off. The studio follows, and we'll be back.
Dream. That fire is constantly burning.
The checkered flag of victory.
There's one race on this planet that transcends sports, and that's the Indianapolis 500.
There's no other racetrack like it. There's no other race like it.
500 miles, 400,000 people on the ground.
Energy like you've never experienced ever before. It really is magical.
Nothing like it. How dangerous it is, how fast it is.
Oh, crash, heavy impact.
It's the greatest race in the world.
Newgarden is a 2-time Indy 500 winner. Let's go!
It's the biggest win of my career by far.
I've been on the front row. I've been on the back row. I've been bumped out. I've bumped back in.
You will never be forgotten if you win the Indy 500.
Once you get that first victory, you just want the second even more.
to have my face on that trophy with my heroes. It's amazing to be a part of that history.
I won 3 in a row. You have no idea. I want it so bad.
Win this race, you become immortal.
Fox Sports, our continuing coverage live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, getting ready to roll for the 109th time in the Indy 500. And a slight weather delay. It didn't show much on the radar earlier. We had some rain showers at different parts of the track, but our max Doppler radar weather is saying the showers have moved through. They did not lose the track. They are drying out the spots where a little bit of rain fell, so we should be ready to start the race in just a couple of moments. Thanks for being with us, along with Tony Stewart and Danica Patrick. I'm Chris Myers, our spot. We're back here at our set with the row. Thank you. Some fans have scattered, but the rain has stopped. The pagoda behind us and the row of bricks as well. Tony, I just want to ask, as we await this, what drivers, and you both have experienced different parts of this, getting ready to roll, you're fired up. Boy, those opening ceremonies got to all of us, and then a driver has to sit and wait. What's going on in his head?
Yeah, that's the fun part that Danica and I were talking about, is we kind of have different approaches to it, but I think that's the great thing is you got 33 different drivers out there. They all have different personalities. They all have different quirks. The thing that I would not like is I was so routine driven that when I got in the car, I wanted to get going. I didn't want any delays. I didn't want anything to be different or changed. So to sit there, and I guess I would probably be like Kyle Larson, who we just saw was looking at his watch, checking time already. I want to get going. Once I get in that car, that's my mode, that's my office, and I want to get to work.
Did you wear a watch in the car too?
I've never wore a watch. I still don't wear a watch.
Exactly. I mean, from my perspective, I think this is an opportunity actually for the drivers to relax. Outside of Kyle Larson, who has a hard out, has another 600 miles to do after this 500. You've had so much going on before the race. There's a minute by minute all morning long. So many people, so many obligations, so much energy. You get to the car before you get strapped in. There's so many people there too. Now it's peaceful. They're all gone. You're just sitting in your car. You're making sure that radios work. Are you comfortable? Belt's all good. It's time to relax. So look, if this continues on, it does get a little arduous as a driver to just sit there very strapped in. But, you know, a little bit of time is kind of nice.
Yeah, but a good sign that it's not going to drag on too much longer. I mean, we really should, within moments here, get rolling, because, look, that's Tom Brady, and you saw Michael Strahan earlier talking about being in the pace car for him as well, and the experience for champions of their sport to try and just see what a little bit of it feels like for the guys going through the Indy 500. How does Tony? How does Strahan look in that? He's looking comfortable.
He genuinely looks nervous. When he was walking by, I said, "Hey, you going to do any work today?" He goes, "Yeah." But he does look nervous to me. I mean, it's a big responsibility driving the pace car. I mean, you're pacing 33 cars. These guys, from the moment they roll off the grid, and Danica can tell you this, they are already in fuel saving mode. So every move they make from the time they pull off the grid is calculated, and you know, it's very important.
And what they tell you when you're the pace car driver is they're like, look, as soon as you come around turn 2 for that last lap, you need to go as hard as you can. And even for myself, I was like, oh shoot, like, I don't know, I haven't tested the limits of this car. How hard can I go? So I'm sure Michael's sitting in the car thinking, did I really want to be a race car driver? This will be the test.
Yeah, things worked out well for him, his career. Let's try. Back in with Jamie Little. And Jamie with a previous 500 winner.
To me, and wanted some help to speed up his process of learning the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And it's a special place, isn't it? We get the crowd roaring. It's so cool. It's packed today, 350,000 people. It's magical. So I'm just behind Scott, trying to give him the tools to become the best driver he can be quicker. And, you know, it's such a learning process here. Anything you can get from another driver is a good thing. But I got to say, it's very rare to have a champion like him ask another driver for help. So, you know, we share the same value. We share the same love for the sport. He's very, very passionate. He's he's a tremendous talent, like one of the best talent I've ever seen. Now, if you give him the tools, he's going to use it, and then slowly but surely he's going to become better and better. And I've loved seeing his evolution within Team Penske. He's just been tremendous. So we'll see what he can do today. He's in a good position actually to do very well, so cross fingers. The whole team is pushing hard, and it's been a pleasure to be obviously back with Team Penske and experience this for the last 2 weeks.
Well, you're bragging on that driver. Let's brag on you. In the moment you won this race, Simon, take us back to it. What does it mean to stand there in winner's circle?
I mean, that's what I asked Scott. I said, when you win today, like, just give me one drop of milk, please, so you can put me back in that moment. It stays with you your whole life. You know, today it's my pride and joy. My kids, when they see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they think of the yellow car and the win, and it's just amazing to have accomplished such an incredible thing in my career and my life. And you know, it's going to stay with me and my kids forever. So it's really it's a gift that keeps on giving. Everybody says the same thing, but it's so true. And every year, you know, you stand on the grid and the goosebumps still happening. Even though I'm not driving, it's actually more stressful to be on this side of the fence than being in the car and controlling things. But it means everything, because it's a dedication. You dedicate your life to this since you're a little child. You know, I started thinking about go-kart at 4 years old, and I watched Rick Mears win. I was 6 years old, and I said that someday I'm going to go to the Indianapolis 500. And being part of it is one thing. Winning is just a privilege.
Stays with you forever. So good to see you, Simon.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Let's go back to Chris.
All right, hey, thank you very much. All right, so we saw in qualifying they surpassed speeds of 230. We also saw more crashes, I think, than we had leading up to the race qualifying weeks here. But what kind of racing speeds do you think we're going to see today? And obviously handling the corners and avoiding the wall.
Well, things definitely slow down.
But it's cooler now, too.
It's cooler, which does help. That's going to give them more downforce usually. The rain won't help. But look, when you get into the race, you're doing much longer runs than you would otherwise do if you were in practice. Also, when you're out there organized in practice, you know, usually if you're not comfortable in a line, you just drop back and get out of the way. You go back to the garage, you go back to the pit lane, you try and work on the car. Here in the race, you have to stick that out, which means you're going to back other cars up. So overall, the general race pace comes down, but they're still going to be doing 230.
Yeah, but it will definitely pick up. I mean, like Danica said, it makes more power when the air is cooler. The track temperature being down is a lot more grip as well. So the pace could be higher than what we anticipated, but at the same time, there's still going to be those comers and goers. There's guys that aren't going to hit the balance perfect, because as the temperature changes up and down, then the car's balance changes with it. So everybody in this first stint's going to be thinking about the balance of the race car, and they're going to be feeling out and just kind of settling in this first stint.
Yeah, as the drivers wait this out, you talked about checking their watch. I'm sure for Kyle Larson, right, he had that 40-minute window to try and do the double, something that you accomplished very successfully. So from that standpoint, in terms of his time and weighing on his mind, how difficult was that for you in terms of racing here, obviously, and then thinking, hey, I want to do well, but then I want to get to the next one? Can you block it out and stay focused in that moment?
Yeah, and I didn't have to worry about weather. I had great weather conditions both times that I did the double. But for Kyle, I think it's easy. I think you just literally have to treat it as two stages. I mean, this first stage is strictly focusing on the Indy 500. Don't think about the car in Charlotte. Don't think about what you have to do later in the day. Strictly focus on the task at hand. Once that's over, then you kind of have this little middle phase and intermission, I called it, of getting on the plane, getting hydrated again. He'll get an IV fluid once he gets on the airplane. He talked to me about the meal that he's going to have, a protein bowl, just to get some food in his stomach and get some energy back for the second half. But then once he gets to Charlotte and he lands, his mind will automatically switch gears without him having to think about it, of getting reacclimated to that Cup car, and it will take zero amount of time for him to get used to it again.
He's not going to have salad on the plane. Kyle Larson is a salad lover. The bigger the salad, the better for him.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the good thing is, as a race car driver, once you're strapped in and you're going, you're not thinking about anything else. Your focus is completely on the job at hand. This is going to be the worst part. Right. The flight, sort of waiting it out. Can the jet go any quicker? Those are the things that are going through his head. But when it comes to the job at hand at 230 miles an hour, you're laser focused.
Yeah, so these are the best drivers of the world, and when you think, hey, driving is driving, but the difference, and we know about the cars between a NASCAR and an Indy car, is it like just driving a car versus driving a truck? What's the best way to explain that in a very elementary way?
It's like driving a tennis ball and driving a bowling ball.
Oh, that's the difference.
I mean, that's what I've always told everybody about the difference of driving here at Indianapolis. These guys can run wide open around this racetrack if their car is comfortable. You could never do that in a stock car. So imagine taking a tennis ball. If you want to make that thing change directions, you just bat it with your hand and it's going to change direction.
Okay.
The bowling ball, you have to slow it down, then get it to change direction and get it to accelerate again. So it's drastically different, but this is not in his wheelhouse. This is not his normal feel. So thank God this is the first of the 2 races that he has to run. I think it's way easier to do the 500 first than it would be for him to have to run the Coke 600 first, then come here and run the 500.
That's it. I never had you as a tennis guy. A bowler I could see. All right, but you did both.
They drink a lot of beer in bowling, so it fits me very well.
All right, let's...
More of a pickleball guy.
Let's check in once again with Jamie Little. Jamie?
Well, look who I ran into. Michael Strahan at the front of the field. He is pacing the field. What is this moment like? You are strapped in. I'm looking in your rear view, Michael. You've got the entire field ready to go.
Yeah, they're ready to go. I heard Danica and I heard Tony talking about me being nervous, just slightly. But I'm ready, Danica. You saw that little piece we did early in the show. I could have been a race car driver, but I grew out of it. Too big.
All right, what's your coach telling you here for these laps?
Relax, be smooth, calm down. He's an incredible driver himself, so he just guided me through that. We're just having a nice, pleasant conversation, keeping it nice and calm in the car.
A slight delay, getting to know each other a little bit. First off, this view. What do you think of this place and these moments that you've taken in so far?
Well, this is absolutely amazing. I've never seen an event with this many people, ever. It's the biggest sporting event in the world for a reason. And I'm talking to Tom earlier and Jimmy was saying when you come down this straight and just that line of fans, you get that nowhere else. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to pacing the field. I'm looking forward to getting off the track.
You're going to do a great job. We saw you talking to David Letterman. How did that go? I think you picked him up last week. I saw some footage of you guys.
Yeah, I picked him up when he had his show. He had me pick him up again last week. I said about Dave. I'm always picking up Dave, but he's great, and I'm happy for him and his team to be starting where they're starting in the race. I know he's excited about it, and I'm wishing him a lot of luck.
Well, we're wishing you luck. Keep those nerves at bay. We're going to go here any minute, all right? Good luck.
All right, I'm ready. All right. Danica, Tony, you're lucky you retired because I would take your job.
We got a little bothered by this scare line. By the way, Letterman's working on Michael Strahan's top 10 list of bucket list items. He's checking off the Indy 500 in this one. Yeah, in case you missed the AI thing a little bit earlier, that was the setup. What if Michael, who grew up a car fan and is a car fanatic, if he had been a race car driver?